this is an extension of yesterday's class, again setting question paper and preparing questions for classwork. So again, there are some key points just to remember. Use a variety of evaluation methods. It could be oral, it could be written, it could be quiz, it could be one word, it could be true or false, just MCQs or role play. So anything becomes an activity or a method of testing them. It is a method of evaluation. So nothing goes like, even if you like, we can even have, you bring some fruits to the class or open the tiffin box of the children, or if they have any fruits with them, you put the fruits on the table and then just try to cover it, like how they do in MasterChef and all. So you ask them to pick one and identify what is the nutrient in that. So maybe if it is a carrot and the child tells it is rich in so and so vitamin, so you tell them, yes, you are right. So even then the evaluation is done. So it could be as simple as that. You can call the whole class and finish this activity in 40 minutes. So evaluation is done. But in the COS, some other evaluations could be prescribed. Like every teacher can follow their own evaluation strategies. Definitely, because we all have millions of inputs in conducting evaluation, in conducting tests. So it is one of the suggestions which we prescribe in the course of study. It is not that you have to do only the same, because we have different ideologies and we have different set of children, heterogeneous group of children. If you say a rural area, an urban area. So what works the best in your classroom, you can decide, and you can develop questions based on that, or whatever evaluation strategies based on that. And next is create clear learning objectives. So that's what we discussed even yesterday. So if you're discussing a lesson on a particular topic, so what is the main objective of the lesson? So if the lesson goes like, it is about the food. So there was one question which I remember, Buman's experiment, Dr. Buman in NCERT textbook we have. So he found that when the war, when soldier was struck by a bullet and then he operated them, the flap didn't close. So he had advantage of looking over what is happening inside the stomach. He took the juices out and then he conducted experiments using those juices. So if the time taken for digestion inside the stomach is 1 hour, the time taken for the digestion of food when the juice is taken outside, it takes 3 hours. And moreover, his findings were like, if you are sad, if you are depressed, it takes more time to digest. So he gave a lot of his findings, and he is the one who proposed that the juice that is released in the stomach is acidic in nature. So once this was tested in the question paper, so the lesson talks about so many things about digestion, what is the role of each and every organ. But this question, what is Buman's findings? So again, it is up to you, like every Nuke and Crooney from the textbook will be tested. It is subjective to be tested. So you need not feel bad. Oh, they have given this in the very small corner of the book and this has been tested. Because when it comes to the curriculum, everything in the book will be tested. So in the initial years, we too felt the orange boxes, the blue boxes, which will be like extra reading or fun fact, even questions from that can be tested. So then providing timely feedback. As children, as teachers, even, when you receive a small appreciation from your higher authority, let it be from your HOD or coordinator, we feel motivated to do things in a better way, right? So it has been acknowledged. So same way, whenever there is a test or whenever there is some improvement area, when a child needs to be improved in particular area, it becomes our duty to give them feedback, especially after our exams. We correct the papers, we have to analyze where the child has gone wrong and then keep them in track. Maybe this part, see, you didn't write any one-word answers. See, you didn't write any 2-mark question or 3-mark or 5-mark. Children do that in lower sections. They just stick on to 1 mark, but they don't write the 2 or 5-mark questions at all. So somehow we have to make them, bring them to the habit of writing. And next is using rubrics. Rubrics is set of instructions that we can follow. Like if your handwriting is good, I'll give you 1 star. If your handwriting is neat, better, it is improved from the last time, I will give you 2 stars. Or if your understanding is better. So you can frame your own set of rules, like from good, better, excellent. You can grade children according to that. So using your own rubrics. And then the answer key. So even this we have gone yesterday side by side, answer key. So making your own answer key as you prepare the question paper is very important tool in assessment. Teachers, I have some more questions for you. So just to engage your brain like that. So little bit of higher, I wouldn't say this is higher order thinking skill, but instead of asking it in a direct way, I would prefer. So teachers, shall we just, can somebody read it for me? The first question.
Why is grass classified as a plant? Why is the mushroom not classified as a plant?
Yes. So what is the other way of asking this question, ma'am? What could be the simple way of asking, like without even thinking, just like maybe if the child has to answer, you wanted to keep it very simple. We'll go like, is grass a plant? Is mushroom a plant? Maybe we'll frame is what is grass, or to which category of plant does grass fall under? We can ask the child whether it is, you want the answer, whether it is to be a herb, shrub, or a climber or a creeper. But this way, now we are asking the child to compare. You say that grass is a plant, but mushroom is not a plant. So what could be the possible answer for it? So here again, we are asking, making the child to think and compare. So the answer pretty much we all know. Anybody would volunteer to answer this question?
What are non-green plants?
First one,
mushroom is an unusual plant and it will not go, photosynthesis will not happen in these plants.
Yes, mushroom are non-green. They cannot, they do not come under autotrophs. They cannot make their own food. So
mushrooms are saprophytes.
Saprophytes, yes. For class 5, maybe that will do. If asked for class 3, you can even give the picture of a mushroom and grass also to make it more attractive to the child. So grass is a plant because it is green, or it has the big chlorophyll, or it satisfies, it can. But mushroom is not, because it is not green in color. It lacks chlorophyll. That could be very simple for a class 3 child. Or if they know saprophytes, please circle the organism that would be classified as a plant. So first is a mushroom, next is some tree, and next is a cockroach. And this, teachers, do you think children will be able to identify what is in the last picture?
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
COVID-19.
Yeah, some sort of coronavirus, because they are aware about this. Yes, virus. So maybe this, see, sometimes ruling out method works. In MCQ, this might not be the answer, or this could not be the answer. So please teach the children also to rule out. When they are not known of the answer, very sure, if they're not known of the answer for sure, you can even ask them to follow the rule out method. So ruling it out. So the question is, circle the organism that would be classified as a plant. So this cannot be a plant. I am doubtful whether this is a plant, this is a plant, because this is green in color. That's why I've given green color. So just children might get confused and they may substantiate the answer also, because it is green, it can make its own food. Definitely they can go with that also. But later, assessment, when you get the answer script, if any child has written so and so, maybe you take the extra time to call the child and tell that, no, this is a virus. Or when we discuss the answer key, though the color picture is given, it is a virus, it represents coronavirus, it is not. And this is a mushroom, definitely it can't be, because it is non-green, it cannot synthesize its own food. And the right answer is this one. The next question, the tail of it is, explain why you chose the organism you circled. So now comes the explanation part. So the child will have to reason it out. Why? What characteristic made it to be classified this way? So it can be like, this is not green in color, this is animal, this is a virus. So all the three are wrong, this is only the plant. It could be this way also. The child, now the child's thinking can be from any dimension. We cannot expect that from one point, whatever answer key you give, like it is green in color, it has chlorophyll, so that is why I have circled. So we can expect very many answers from children. Maybe for cockroach, they will write, they can move. So it is not a plant. So we can expect so many answers from children. Again, if you can put it in the answer script, the answers key, that would be helpful. And if the child writes like that, cockroach cannot move. Cockroach can move from one place to another place. So it is not a plant. Better, maybe just a small star in their own answer paper. Just a word of appreciation when you correct the papers. Next is like, we generally ask this question. List the steps in the germination of a seed. Very simple, straightforward question. List the steps in the germination of a seed, or define germination. What are the steps that takes place during the germination? But I do have a different way of asking the same question. So I have given it as list the sequences. So again, this is one word. Introduce this word also. List the sequence of events. Sequences one after the other, which happens, that occurs as the mango seed germinates. So here I've just given, it could be any seed. It could be a neem seed or any seed that would germinate. So I didn't give them a straight question. The answer is going to be the same. They have to write in stepwise what happens during the germination of a seed. That is, the radical emerges out, the plumule comes out, and then small leaves come out, and then they have to list the sequence. But then the way of asking the question is quite different. Next is, you see an insect egg lying on a leaf. What stage is next? What is a simple way of asking this question, teacher? Like generally, what is the question asked? I hope you would have understood what is the answer. But what question we ask in exams for this?
Directly we'll be asking life cycle of
life cycle. Draw and label the life cycle of some insect we may give. But maybe if you want to put it in 1 mark, or if you want to test what is the next stage.
What is the next stage of this stage?
So you see an insect like egg. So specifically we have mentioned that now, okay, now this is eggs. The insect has laid the eggs. Now what is the next stage?
Caterpillar.
Right. Or you can call it as the larval stage. So you can specifically ask even for one particular insect also. If you say that if nymph for some, so what insect you are mentioning there, that will be even very crisp and precise to what your answer key is going to be. So next is, in winter, ground squirrels retreat into the burrows and do not come out until spring. Circle the term that best describes this behavior.
Hibernation.
Yeah, definitely it's hibernation. The other way of asking this question is like how we generally ask. Answer is hibernation.
Winter sleep.
Yeah, winter sleep. What is the other term for winter sleep? Or even if we give ground squirrels undergo the process, what is the process? So that could be in simple terms. But yeah, making the child to read, then the child understands, the child learns, thinks, and then chooses the right answer from it. But we may also have something else to say here, that is, ma'am, what if the child doesn't know to read a lot? Because maybe in our area, we are from rural, children, first generation learners. We do have children like that. Believe me, teachers, I was also one teacher who was saying all this because we are also from rural area only. But unless you throw such questions to children, we never know what they are capable of. That's why I tell you, keep all this in your class tests. So analyze it. How many of the children are able to read it out and comprehend, understand what is asked? Definitely you will be surprised. There'll be 5 or 10 in the class who don't know to read. Maybe they are just beginners, 2-letter words, 3-letter words. They do struggle. But every time, let us step up a little bit, one by one, a step by step. We'll just have to climb up the ladder to increase our standards. we can't keep blaming the children, because I'll show you some question papers so you would see how much text it contains. So a child definitely will have to read it. No point in telling that, sorry, my children will not be able to read. So that is why we have to prepare ourselves mentally first. Okay, this is how the question paper is going to be. So I have to train children in such a way that they will be able to face the exam like a piece of cake. So that's why prepare them in your classes. Next, a shark is preparing to eat a fish swimming in front of it. Which is the best way to describe these two animals? First option is predator and a prey. Next option is producer and consumer. Next option is herbivore and omnivore. Next is scavenger and producer.
Predator and prey.
Predator and the prey is the right option. So I'm just giving the possible ways of asking questions again. Ria's neighbor put up some old toys in the trash. Ria's father found them and made object as seen in the picture. How many of the 3 R's did Ria's dad apply? First, what is the other way of asking this question is, what are the 3 R's?
What are the 3 R's?
3 R's.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
So that is the simplest way of asking. Yes, teacher. So that is a simple way of asking the question, but I didn't ask it that way. So I have taken some effort to look for some pictures which, apply some R's. Reduce, reuse, recycle. May I get the answer for this, ma'am? What is?
Is it reuse?
Yes, definitely reuse.
He has reduced.
Recycle, ma'am.
Also we can
Recycle, yes. And reduce also. Like reduce also.
He has reduced the wastage.
Yes, definitely. Now it has been made into something else. So definitely we are reducing the carbon footprint or the wastage on the earth. So now the child will understand. So instead, that's what, asking the question directly. See, again, it takes time. It takes our time to sit and work out questions like that. Think. I think I have to go back. Teachers, I'll give you some sample question papers. We can just go through that and we'll see how do you grade these question papers of ours. I know the content could be quite different, but then you'll get used to how a paper will be. So all these are 1 mark questions, direct fill in the blanks type of questions. And then we'll have, you see here for multiple choice, it is half a mark. It's not 1 mark. Sometimes even for fill in, they give you half mark. So again, questions could be like this, could little bit be lengthy also. Crude oil is sent to Dash for cleaning and separating it into useful products. It is a refinery. And then the gas that is essential for things to catch fire.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Oxygen. So children will not confuse. Maybe if the question has stopped till this, the gas that is essential for living things, if it has stopped with this, that will be an ambiguity. But then the question has been continued to catch fire. So that would be oxygen. Now next is, which is a water-wise habit. So questions like this also, teachers, you can just go through as I scroll. No, some of you don't know the NCERT textbook, but some of these are, from NCERT, but what I'm showing.
What is it, 6th one, ma'am? The sum of money that you borrow and has to be paid back with interest. What is?
Loan.
Oh.
It's there in the lesson. So one money lender is there. So he lends money to others.
Okay.
So that's what, see how you have to interpret the sum of money that you borrow and has to be paid back with interest. Because in that lesson, the lender, he tells the farmers, they work to pay it back with interest. If you see here, this question number 3, how did Sangeeta Arora feel when she was pushed into water? So now we have 4 options. Now from that, pick out the correct option. Option A, B, C, and D. So child should not think that I have to pick 1, 2, 3, or 4. So this also may be a new type of question that is, for some use. Because we give them directly 4 options, but not the statements like this 1, 2, 3, and 4, and choose among them. Isn't it, teachers? Or are you all aware of this? You give this type of questions.
No, ma'am, we never tried this type.
Okay, you have never.
Like,
See, that's
we
what I'm
usually
telling.
try these type in long answer part.
Okay. Not in MCQ part.
In 8th standard.
A, B, or B, C. Those kind of options we give.
Okay, okay. Ma'am, but that's what train, ma'am. So later, let us not regret all that. So that's why I'm just sharing. So this type of questions to be asked. Likely to be. And now, again, there's one more variety, which is question number 5. If you could see here, statement 1 and statement 2. So if you see the statement 1, water helps in seed dispersal of some plants. Statement 2 is seed dispersal in coconut plants takes place with the help of water. So the child has to read the statement 1 and statement 2 and identify from the 4 options which is the correct answer. Statement 1 and 2 are false. Statement 1 and 2 are true. Statement 1 is true and 2 is false. Statement 1 is false and 2 is true. Which is the correct answer, teachers?
Option B.
Definitely option B, because both are true statements. So I believe this type of picture questions you would have asked. Now identify part X. So this is the part X. From the seed, it comes down. So that is the part X. It's labeled as X. Plumule, seed coat, radical, or seed leaves.
Is it radical?
What comes first? The radical. The radical. Yeah.
Plumule.
No, ma'am. Radical comes first. It is the radical part.
Root part, yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, root. The first part. And then we have name the following type. So I think this you would always, you would have done in your schools, that is there. And some words teachers like an eco-friendly fuel. So eco-friendly, which is environment friendly. So please use these words in case if there's a water lesson or environment lesson. And then analogy type questions. So as I said earlier, analogy type questions are a part of, always are a part of our question papers. Xanthium animals. That is, a xanthium is a seed which has hoops and spines in it. So it is seed is dispersed by animals. So cotton is dispersed by?
Explosion.
Wind.
Wind.
Wind. Cotton, wind. Okay, the seeds explode and they travel in the wind. Cotton seeds, they travel in the wind because they are very light and they have hairy structures. And this is this is something from the text. Mortar and pest, chakra, spin, cotton, Bowley. And teachers, if you're going to follow the NCERT textbook, I'm not sure of this year again, there'll be so many words which are given in Hindi. Even for bottle guard, bitter gourd, lauki, like this. Sar in Hindi, that is a word in Hindi which means a lake. Bowley, which means step well. Yeah, it's a step well. So don't omit all that. This
is
was
okra a Hindi word, ma'am?
Okra is lady's finger.
Lady's finger, is that a Hindi word? Or?
Yes, ma'am. Okra is Hindi word. Actually, all these appear in the textbook, NCERT textbook. Yes, if you are supposed to follow the NCERT textbook, we are likely to have more Hindi words like this. This they test every exam. This is tested. Bowley or Sar, which is lake, or a step well. And now observe the picture and answer the following. This is again a basic one given in all the question papers. So picture-based question. Picture-based question. So there'll be some picture in the question paper below which we'll have questions based on the picture or the concepts which relate to the picture. So now identify and name the disaster.
Earthquake.
It's an earthquake. What causes
Earthquake.
it? The shaking of the plates of the earth. Or the child, and a nuclear, what is that, atomic bomb or the tremors. So anything, the answer could be there. And then mention any 2 precautions. Again, please remember such words, precautions. Even this could be there for class 3 also, or class 4 or class 5. So mention any 2 precautions that one should take during this natural disaster. So I think we have given lines here for the child to write precautions. And then there goes the map. If you see, locate the following on the Indian political map. So locating half a mark, and then specify whether it has a dense or sparse forest area. Again, this goes with the lesson. So half plus half will be awarded and map will be given along with the question paper itself. Now going to the main question answer part. Ma'am, and grids also will be given sometimes. Grids like this. Please train them for that also. Let them not, please instruct them, let them not draw the grids again because that will be time consuming. 1, 2 across, 3 down like that and all. Most of the papers I've seen grids. So grid is also there.
We usually give our worksheets with all these things, grids, unscrambled words, missing letters, all those things will be there in the worksheet.
Worksheet. Ma'am, that's what can be expected in work. What is given in worksheet can be tested also in the main exams. Because it so happens again, it's in the hands of the teacher who sets the paper. The teacher wants to prove the knowledge. Definitely all this will be there. Teacher's knowledge. So next here. So again, we have 2 marks and then we have 3 marks and then we have 5 marks. So I'll just give you some insight in one of the question here. So this is a line which is taken out from the textbook. A line from the textbook. Like next time when we leave our village after Dussehra, we will leave Danu with his Dadi and Chachi. So this is a line taken from the book. Now, why does the speaker say so? So, I don't think it is like an English paper, because in English paper only who's the speaker and in which lesson it is there, who's the author of the lesson, all that appears. But this is like, why does she say so is because she doesn't want the child to skip school. So the context goes like that, because the child, every time the child comes with the parents for work. So her Nani says that next time we are not taking the child because the child has to be in school, get proper education, and then he has to become someone in life. So that is the reason this particular extract is picked. The whole objective of the lesson is the problems faced by the farmers due to migration when they don't get work in one part of the country. And then the problems faced by them in the sense their children also. So because of that, this question was chosen, one objective to be achieved there. So again, this type of question. So ventilator. Actually, we don't have this concept in the book, but the book content talks about hot air rises up and cold air comes down. Hot air is lighter, it expands and then it goes up. Cold air comes down. So application based question. So children, if they don't understand the word ventilator, because I believe that most of us have almost forgot this word ventilator. Neither in our schools also we see ventilators now. If it is there, it will be closed or it might not be there. So ventilators, how to substitute it, maybe exhaust fans in your house. That children will know, exhaust fan, where it is kept. So when you talk about the hot air rising up and the cold air coming down, please mention about all these also. Equivalent terms where the ventilators are kept up or the exhaust fans are kept up. The reason is that the hot air rises up and the cold air, windows are placed below them so that the cold air comes in. Okay, so if you see here, 7th question, identify the natural disaster represented in the picture. It is drought.
Famine.
No, ma'am, famine is something which is, lack of food. Drought is, of course, drought leads to famine. This picture is taken from the book. It is a book reference picture. And then you see the word here, enumerate.
List out.
List out, yes. See, this is an annual paper, I believe. Yeah, common term 2. It's an annual paper in 2022. Enumerate. I know across the school, some teachers would have even scolded because they would have not introduced this term. I totally accept. I totally agree. See, when a question paper goes to your head of the department or the principal, they'll definitely change 5% of the question. So in that, they'll have to keep questions very challenging. So they even change certain things here. And we are helpless about it. So enumerate any 3 problems faced by the people during this disaster. Enumerate is again list out. Then here, again, picture-based question. So whenever you give a picture-based question, please give them a proper question on the top. Observe the picture. It is not look at the picture. Looking is different. Observing is different. So observe the picture and answer the questions that follow or answer the following questions. So name the plant.
Picture plant.
Yeah, it's a picture plant. Why is
Also
yes.
we can.
Sorry?
Nepenthes also.
Yeah, Nepenthes. If you have taught the word Nepenthes to them, it is fine. Or a simple picture plant also is accepted. Why is it called an insectivorous plant?
It will eat only insects. So it is not green. It can't prepare their own food.
Yeah, it can even add up, though it has chlorophyll. Why is it a heterotroph? I can put a question like that also. Though it has chlorophyll, why it is called actually a partial heterotroph?
It is not capable of getting nitrogen from the soil.
Yes,
so that's
actually.
why it
Absolutely
right,
right.
getting inside the picture.
So absolutely right, teacher. Aditya madam. So it is like the soil in which the plant grows. Actually, the soil is deficient in this particular nutrient, which is nitrogen. So the plants are deficient of this nitrogen, which they trap from the insects. That is why, though it has chlorophyll, it makes food, but then for that particular nutrient, it has to depend upon the animal. So that is why it is called as a partial heterotroph. And then name a state in India where it grows. It's again from the book only we have taken it.
Meghalaya.
Meghalaya, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And this is also a picture-based question from the textbook. See, that's what I said. An EVS question paper, if it has some pictures, I feel it's very lively. Most of the teachers also agreed. It should be a lot of picture-oriented, and drawing skills also should be tested. Now, identify the lake in the picture. If you're following an NCERT textbook, you might be knowing this. This is what lake, teachers? Lake Gadsisar, I believe. Who built this Gatsi? And what is unique about this lake is, when this lake fills, it is so constructed in that way that there are 9 lakes. Yeah. So once this is filled, the water doesn't go wasted. It fills all the other 9 lakes. So throughout the year, they get water. Okay, now, if you look at this question number 2 here, now read the following information and then answer the question. So we are giving them a small paragraph here. So they have to read the information and they have to answer the questions based on the information or the activity, whatever is given. Chintu put 2 drops of groundnut oil. So 2 drops of groundnut oil and water on a stainless steel plate. Yeah, she tilted the plate and found the drops of one liquid slid down quickly. I am 200% sure that 98% of the children might not know what is the word slid. We face this. If the child doesn't understand the question, how will it answer? I totally resonate with you all from the bottom of my heart that I too was in your situation once. What is the best thing? Instead of scolding the question paper setter, which we eventually do, but the best thing is we step up next time because it is our children. Who else will know the best to bring out the best out of them? So now I've given you some insights. This could be like this. So in next time when we take our classes, let us make sure that we introduce certain terms so that they are familiar with those terms. Make them familiarized with certain terms.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Ma'am, I agree with these words: distinguish, enumerate, identify. All these words we can teach, but this particular slid word, maybe if we give this particular kind of situations, we can explain that word. But
actually, this is an activity which the child does. Actually, it's there in the textbook, but this word is not there because we have to ask it as a question. This is there as an activity. Now, if I have to ask like a question, then what else I could substitute there if I think of it? Or I could have given slide. At least if it was a slide, maybe some children would have understood it. But then going about the grammar of the question, because it goes through HOD, HM ma'am, and then the principal. So if your HOD or HM ma'am happens to be English major, you're gone. So we have to make sure that some part of the grammar also we work on it. Otherwise, it will be bubbled and sent back. So we have to redo. Then we'll give the foolproof question paper so that there's no fault in it. So now the question is, so one of the liquids slid down quickly while the other lagged behind. Which fluid slid down faster and why? So faster is water, not the oil.
water, maybe the density of the water.
Because of the density, yes. So again, there are subdivisions. Please note, teachers, there are subdivisions in this. So subdivision 1 is this. Subdivision 2 is an entirely different question which doesn't have to do anything with number 1. It doesn't have to do anything with number 1 at all. So it's entirely different. Seawater is collected in shallow beds and it is allowed to dry in the sun. Why? And then next question is classify as soluble and insoluble substances. So here if we see this third question, petrol and diesel will not last forever. Why? The same question, this year it was asked in a different way. We should use petrol and diesel judiciously.
Yes.
Because
it is a non-renewable resource.
Yes, but then what is judiciously?
Wisely,
Wisely, of course, it is wisely only, but how many children know that?
Yes.
Petrol and diesel should be used judiciously. Why? This year in class 5 term exam, this question was asked. So, not this way. I mean, the answer is same. It is non-renewable. They are limited. It takes millions of years to form. So maybe for your slow learners, teachers, for slow learners also, we have to pay much attention. You tell them petrol and diesel will not last forever. That word they'll be able to read. So what do you understand from that? Leave the words which are following the question judiciously, wisely. You don't know that, don't panic. Read that. Petrol and diesel will not last forever. So you write the points why they will not last forever. So let us not leave the slow learners. Let us not think that, no, they can't answer this at all. Let them make any attempt. Petrol and diesel, you are able to see. Write something about them in context with the lesson. In which lesson will you study that? You know that petrol and diesel are non-renewable or limited. So you tell them some few keywords at least to mention. Or to make a mere attempt, petrol and diesel are used to run vehicles. Something related to the question, let the child does not leave the question unattempted. That is also one thing. We have to concentrate on slow learners also. Because they, in some areas, they belong the majority of the class. Sometimes they form the majority, slow learners. Next is again from the lesson it is taken. Why did Manju say, I will invent the car that runs on sunlight? So what could be the possible answers? I will invent a car that runs on sunlight.
Solar panel.
Solar power.
Of course, it is non-polluting. It is a renewable source of energy, or it is in unlimited amounts. It doesn't cause any smoke. It is available for free of cost. Anything the child can write. In context.
Another one, she is finding the alternative way by using the petrol or diesel.
Yes, ma'am. It is an alternative way. Or the question can start like this also. Write an alternative way or write a substitute for petrol and diesel in future years if this gets over. So they can go for solar. Even now we have this EV vehicles, like chargeable vehicles, which runs on electricity.
Battery scooter, yes.
Yes. So this is one question paper which we have, and I'll just go for one more. So teachers, how do you rate this question paper on a difficulty level of 1 to 10? Where does it stand on a difficulty level of 1 to 10?
Maybe 7.
7. Yeah.
8, ma'am.
8. Yeah, I totally accept. Even if you tell a 9 or 10 also, I accept. I don't deny the fact, but be prepared.
The thing is, all the questions, the answer for all the questions, we also know, the students also know, but the thing is the usage of the words
and how the question is framed. Answer, ma'am, most of the answers everybody knows, but what question? So hereafter, that is the challenge. Answer you all know.
Ma'am, moreover, the answers either the teacher or the student, both of them, they know or not. That is the secondary thing. First thing is the question paper should be easy to attend all kind of learners. Even the slow learners also, they should be able to attend some questions in that. That is the quality of question paper, right?
Definitely, ma'am. What I'm saying is that now we can't give all this.
This is okay only, ma'am. What you give the question paper now, you show, we discussed now. That is good only, ma'am.
So,
sure, ma'am. Thank you.
And teachers, one more type of question. As you can see, number 4 here in choose the best answer, please. Which among the following is an incorrect pair? So always our mind goes for correct or which is the right option. But here the question asked is incorrect pair. Teachers, any have you tested this question?
Wheat refrigeration.
Wheat refrigeration, ma'am.
Yes, of course. Wheat.
So we never tested like this,
No, ma'am. We haven't tested.
So this can also, which is not the correct option. The question will be asked like this, which is not the correct option. Sometimes they give not underlined or in italics, but human mind doesn't understand that as not. Children just read that because they are not used to such questions, and they'll, which is the correct option? That's what they will go for. And they'll ask, ma'am, there is no correct answer in this. But please, this way also train them, which is not the right option. That is also there.
Ma'am, then one more doubt.
Please, ma'am.
Fruits drying method will come, ma'am. Will drying method will come for fruits?
Yes, ma'am. For mangoes, dry, we dry.
dry.
Okay.
Okay.
Many fruits we dry, like apricots, raisins.
Nowadays, all the fruits are coming in dry.
Berries.
Yes. So this is again an analogy type only, kind of analogy, but then it tests the incorrect pair. This comes in preservation methods. Yes, now I have this question here. Green plants use X from air, Y from soil, Z from sun, and chlorophyll to make food in their leaves. Identify and name X, Y, and Z. Very easy.
Yes, ma'am. Nice question.
Yes, ma'am.
So in simple ways, I could have asked it like define photosynthesis, but I didn't want it to be like that. I want children to read. I want children to understand, and little bit of thinking should go in there. So that's why it is made like that. Again, children, this question paper setting is an art. You have to love, you have to spend some time. I all know that you're all, married, and maybe most of you must be married. You run your household chores also. But when you sit for a question paper, we totally understand the constraints during that time. But please let us just give at least some questions. Maybe initially when you start with or 2 mark or 4 mark, let us introduce the XY terms. Let us introduce one question which is not the right option. Picture-based questions. Take some time, maybe 5 to 10 minutes extra, and then please implement all this so that you will not get hurt at finally when you see a question paper which comes from.
Please teach us the art of making question paper, ma'am.
Definitely, ma'am. When we meet again, I'll do the needful, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So next is name the process by which green plants make their food. So they are going to write the process name. Just the photosynthesis, the word. No. Yes. So again, this picture is taken from the textbook so that parents don't come up with like because the child has a textbook in hand. So we would have familiarized with some pictures also. Name the method of vegetative propagation shown in the picture. This stem cutting. Name a plant that can be grown by this method.
Hibiscus, rose plant.
Rose.
Anything.
Hibiscus.
Yes. Again, as I said, I love a lot of picture-based questions. So I try almost everything to be picture-based. So this is a bread, but then you have some green and black patches on the bread. So the organism that causes organism, again, if they're familiar with that's fine. Otherwise, please make it a point. The organism that causes cotton-like growth on bread.
Mold.
Mold. Fungi. Or, yeah, fine. Fungi they can write. For class 5, fungi is also accepted. Or they can write bread molds.
Molds.
Yes. List any 2 effects that are caused due to eating this stale food. Again, teachers, please introduce this word, stale food.
It is there in the textbook, ma'am.
Yes, yes, it is there. And supplementary words are contaminated food.
Spoiled food.
Spoiled food. I didn't want to give spoiled, so we gave stale. Spoiled is very easy word.
Yes.
Stale food. Contaminated food. Can be anything. So just substituting the different words. And here also the respiratory system. So here identify the part X, Y, and Z. And teachers, whenever we are making questions like this, framing questions like this, the identification part, it has to be marked very clearly so that there is no ambiguity. See here, it points to the nose, it points to the nose. Sometimes the children might have doubt, ma'am, is it the nostrils? In this picture, there is no nostrils at all. So that is why we are not going to give a picture which is, you know, it's not clear to the children. You yourself, when you prepare the question paper, you have to think, will the children be able to identify or very clearly does it indicate the nose? Otherwise, you have to give mark for nostrils also. Unnecessarily, you are misleading. Then the child may think, oh, whatever we write, ma'am will give marks. No, let us not be like that. Precisely what we are asking for, what is our objective to be achieved. So mark it. How to choose the pictures. So after this, we'll just go to that. How to choose the pictures and how to mark it, label it, cut, copy, paste, all that. Again, there is this question. Study the picture of the food web given below and answer the questions that follow. So this is the picture. And the question is, from the given food web, identify and name the producer. Teachers.
Plants.
Plants. Of course, there's no other option for it. It is the plant, the primary consumer. So I have given here 2 dashes. So I'm expecting 2 answers here.
Birds and insects.
Yeah, I do have a bird here, insect here. Maybe the child can write even a butterfly. So it is their choice, whichever they want. The scavenger.
Vulture.
The vulture or the hawk. The organism that is eaten by a snake. Eaten by a snake. Again, I want 2, frog and a
bird.
So many objectives I've achieved in one question. I made sure children knew what is a producer, who's a consumer, and then who's the scavenger. And then coming back, what does it eat? What one organism eats. So how this arrow mark indicates. So this is eaten by this. This is eaten by this. So what the arrow mark indicates. Supposing the child writes the organism eaten by the snake as a hawk or an eagle. Please, we have to go back to the child and redo this. Say that the arrow mark indicates that this organism is eaten by this. Snake is eaten by the hawk. Always in a food chain, this is in that way. So this was, and then again, read the passage type of question. So children might have to read some passage and answer the questions based on it. Teachers, sometimes the answers might not be there in the passage, but what they have studied in their classrooms. So please tell them it is not an English comprehension passage. Definitely not.
This paragraph from the textbook, I mean, from the lesson, you know, ma'am?
I don't think so. It is from the lesson, ma'am. It is just taken from elsewhere. It could be given like that also, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes,
the first question is like, how do the oceans get polluted? There is a direct answer in this passage. In oceans, water gets polluted by leakage of oil from oil tankers. That is fine. If suppose that
they're right, that is correct. They're right. By plastics, by throwing plastic, that is also right. See, this is the first time that we introduced this type of question, so that we gave it from the paragraph, but after which it will be there. Some topic will be there and related questions can also be asked.
So answer key, how do you set, ma'am, for this particular question?
Ma'am, we give relevant answer. We give extra whatever, three or four teachers sit and discuss. Like it could be if the child writes plastics are thrown, oil spills, whatever possible answers are there, we try to give, or any relevant answer you can give marks. That is how we give it in scoring key. Any relevant answer. So next is a map. So one more question. And this is from EPS textbook, some questions. Look at the picture and answer. So this is from, again, class 5 teachers. So picture-based questions can be like this also. Yes, now coming to the map. So as you can see, locate the following on Indian political map. A northeastern state that has very thick forest. Actually, this is all from the book content only. So for identifying the state, a northeastern state with a thick forest. I think the child can go with Meghalaya or Arunachal Pradesh. So for identifying the state, it identifies as Arunachal Pradesh, half mark. And for locating it correctly on the map, we'll get one more. If you can see this census, I believe. Sometimes people hold their nose before taking a medicine, give reason, so that they don't get the taste of it. And then question number 3, if you see here, Ram's EVS teacher explained that maps and globes are extremely useful tools for locating locations on the map Earth's surface. But how will Ram identify which is a globe and which is a map? So, romba simple. I could have asked like differentiate between a globe and a map. Again, when it goes through so many hierarchy, HODs and HMs, so we have to frame it so that the child thinks, reads. So that is why the question is asked in this way. Basically, the child should know that identify which is a globe and which is a map means, okay, so it has to write the difference between the globe and a map. And then teachers, if you see this 5th point, so there is a statement. The forest is our collective bank. So such statements also can be given and justify by giving 2 reasons. Or see, whenever again you frame a question, how many points do you expect? If you give it to them, that will be very relevant. This is a 2-mark question. So I expect 2 points. Sometimes it is like you don't give them how many points you want to write. What are the uses of water? How many points do you expect? So please mention, maybe in bracket also, write any 2 points or 3 points or whatever it is. What is your expectation? So here there's life cycle of a mosquito. So they are asked to identify and name it. And then there's this chart here. From the graph, they have to interpret the graph, the data. It's there in NCERT textbook, teachers. So we have given a similar data, and then questions are framed from that. And then this is also from the textbook only. This is a a clinical report, pathology report, blood test was taken. So what disease they are suffering from, all that. So from the text, things can be taken and asked, tested on it. So again, now read the following passage type of question and questions from that. Here this question is there. Petroleum and diesel should be used judiciously. Why? Again, name the principle. Teachers, this is also one such, because this activity is mentioned in course of study. This is not there in the book. The lesson is blow hot, blow cold from class 5. So this activity talks about warm air going up, hot air going up. So this is only informed through the COS. It is mentioned in the COS. It's not in the book at all. This activity is not in the book at all. So we have to follow the course of study, what activity is mentioned, and then we have to give notes for that also.
Ma'am, it is there in the NCERT, ma'am. Spinning snake for hot air.
That is there, definitely. But this directly, this is not there, no, ma'am. This is there in course of study.
This one is not there, but another one activity they have given for rising up.
Teachers, for yesterday's, do you have some questions? The material which we posted yesterday. It was a huge content.
Ma'am, I have a question for this passage framing questions, ma'am. I don't understand that part, ma'am. We have to take the content from the textbook, or we have to give ourselves related to the content?
If you can take from the textbook, it is well and fine, because nobody is going to stop you from doing that. Okay. If you take some related ones from the content, that is also fine. I think this is taken somewhere outside the text only, I believe, ma'am.
No, ma'am. This one is from the text.
Adivasis, no? That
Suryamani.
Suryamani, girl star.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it could be from the book or related topic from outside also.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Teachers, I'll just help you with how to go about taking pictures from the internet also, and how to crop it. Or see, whenever we frame the question paper, please make sure that you just go only to the outline pictures. Outline. I'll just help you with that. So supposing you want to take a picture of any suggestion, teachers, any picture. Okay, respiratory system or digestive system. But please mention it as an outline picture. Then only you will have the picture very clear. So you can take such picture. I hope you all know copy paste and all. So in case if the picture is not suitable, like you just choose a picture of respiratory system, then you will have like this. And maybe in print, it doesn't fall very clearly. The black, the darkness of the picture may not be very clear. So what I suggest is, like, I'll just take a picture which is not dark. I'll just take and copy it, and how to increase the darkness of a picture, that is the bright, or make it copy image. Teachers, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So the simplest thing is to copy paste in Paint. So from Paint, you can crop and do things, necessary things, or you can just go to the Word. I've pasted this. Teachers, just make a note of it. You can go to this, picture. You just select this picture, and there it will appear format. Otherwise, in a right click, at the end, you will see this format picture. Because this is what many teachers ask, because they are not very skillful in picking up a picture, copy pasting. Maybe that doesn't come very well in their answer question papers. So just go to format picture. And then you will see artistic effects here. So I've made it a little bit dark. So teachers, can you find the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So I've made it a little bit dark. Actually, it was very light. So I was not sure if it would come in all the, because we take 200 copies or 300 copies. So the same thing is here. In format picture, if you go, artistic effects are here. Same thing, what we saw here, it comes here also, and color. So as you can see, I can choose many colors from here. The brightness keeps increasing. It becomes darker and darker. So make sure that your pictures are dark. Except for black, don't give any other colors to the picture. Please always make it that it should be dark. The color tone, set it to the darkest.
Are these options available in all the versions of Word?
Is it not, ma'am?
No, I just, because I use a very different version.
Oh. Ma'am, then just try right click and you see whether you have format picture, ma'am.
Okay.
Mine is an updated, I think, Windows 11 or 12 it is. So if not, ma'am, just in the format pictures, you just go for this color. Something must be there, ma'am, to make it dark. Otherwise, please ask your, the office people or who are very clever with this all things, because we learned it from them. So whenever
I have a different option, like in the percentage wise, I used to have at the left corner. If I increase the percentage, the brightness will also get increased. If I reduce the percentage, the brightness.
So, and then if you go to paint also, like you can reduce the size of it, and then, so in case I want to insert, I just want to ask what are the label, the parts A, B, and C. So I just reduce the size of it. And then there is a tool, pencil or something, just label it, make it as A, or there are lines, straight lines. So here it is, a straight line. So mark a straight line here, a straight line here. And then what else can we have? A trachea like this. Teachers, there's one more tool also, which is snip. So I'm just, you can just make a note of it. This is a snipping tool. Maybe most of you are aware of it. For those who are not aware of it, this app you can download, snipping tool. What it does, I'll just show it to you. Just go to...
Ma.
Okay, supposing I want only this part, I don't want the upper part. What I'll go is I'll go to the snip. Okay. So I'll select new. So when there is a new snip, you will be able to see that there is a cross mark. So what I do is I just choose this part of it. Control C and Control V. Only that part comes. So that snipping tool, from anywhere you can cut, copy, paste, teachers. That's a tool that again makes your work very easy. Snipping tool.
This one is very informative.
Ma'am, whether it is available in the Word?
No, ma'am, this is an app which you have to download. The snipping tool, that's an app.
Okay.
So this is the app, ma'am. Snipping tool is an app.
Ma'am, are you using a PC or laptop?
It's a laptop, ma'am.
Control C and Control V, no, ma'am.
Yes, you choose any picture. You just take any picture and then you go to the snipping tool, and then whatever you want from it, you can just, I'll make it again for you, some other picture. I want to take some part of it. So I'll just go to snipping tool. That's already there. I have installed. I go to snipping tool and then there is new. So I have to choose new. So when I choose new, then I can choose this.
So as soon as we click the new button, it directly takes you to the website where.
Yes, ma'am. See here, it directly came here.
Oh.
So I didn't do a Control C, Control V also. It directly came here. So this is a tool which we can make use of it. So only that you can cut copy. I mean, you want to snip it, you can snip it and then it gets saved or something like that. And then you must have known that cropping also, like you can just again format picture in that. If you go, there is crop. You don't want the extras. I don't want the anus or I don't want this. I just want only this. So just crop it. Only then you get that crop in format picture. You have to first select the picture. Yes, teacher?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, clipart is very old. I don't know to use clipart actually. I never go to clipart. I prefer this way because whenever we give a question paper, we want to take an outline picture. So that's the best thing to do. Take an outline picture, teachers, not the, the complete one, because when it comes as a printout, we don't know how it comes. I'll give you a minute to go through this and please give me an answer. I'll read the question. So digestion of fats is achieved by the juice secreted. So secreted is a word. Into the small intestine from
liver.
From where? Of course, it is liver. So liver is R. So option is R.
What is the next drawing now?
It's the pancreas.
Pancreatic juice.
Pancreas.
Juice, we do get it from.
What, ma'am?
Ma'am, we also get that pancreatic juice from pancreas that secreted into the small intestine for
fine, but digestion of fats.
Fats. Oh, okay.
Bile. So there are so many objectives in this one question. Digestion of fats is achieved by the bile. So bile is stored in the bile is secreted by the liver.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Since I'm handling grade 3, ma'am, so I've taken only simple questions, ma'am. I've taken master following from this teeth, no, ma'am, incisors, canine, premolar, and molar.
Okay, ma'am.
And Philip have chosen the muscular organ that helps in tasting, swallowing, and speaking is dash.
Okay, the tongue.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, fine. Okay.
And I've taken another one. The process of breaking down food into simpler substance in the human body is called dash.
Digestion.
Digestion.
And one more thing for digestion, I remember this question being asked in this year's one of the papers. The process of breaking down simple, complex substance into simple ones.
Yes, simple.
The question is the process of breaking down complex substances into simple ones.
Okay.
Is dash. Teachers.
Digestion.
I'll just give you a glimpse of it. This is what we have prepared. So identify the preservation techniques. There's a raw mango. They can write pickling. They can write drying, and then butter, refrigeration, fruits, jam, drying also, and then papad, sun drying.
Excuse me, ma'am. One
yes,
more thing I need.
Yes.
One doubt, ma'am. Can I ask this enumerate the parts of digestive system in 2 marks, ma'am?
You want them to draw the diagram also, ma'am?
No. Just list out, ma'am.
Yes. List out is fine. List out is fine. So again, ma'am, how many parts are you expecting? Like for 2 marks, we can split 4 halves, not more than that. 4. So in that case, you can start from mouth to small intestine. You limit your question like or any 4 parts. You just mention how many parts you
Any 4. Okay.
Any 4. So that will be more a better way of asking question.
Okay.
So there's this 4th question also. Radha observed that lemons were coated with salt and kept in a tray under the sun. what is the likely use of coating lemon with salt? Again, thinking part. So there are 4 options. You can give me the correct option from that. Teachers?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the answer for this 4th question.
Radha observed that lemons were coated with salt and kept it in a tray under the sun. What is the likely use of coating lemon with salt?
Ma'am, is it A, ma'am?
Stop the growth of bacteria by reducing the moisture.
Yeah. See, what do we do when we coat it with salt and keep it under the sun is we reduce the moisture content. We remove the moisture from them. So B is the right answer.
This is the answer, ma'am.
So that's what you ask children to read once, twice, and thrice. Everybody is likely to make mistakes, so nothing wrong in that. And if you can see here, ma'am, like some other questions, small intestine serves both for digestion and absorption of digest food. Justify this statement. So for digestion, in the sense, the juices which are released into it. If it is for absorption, we have to talk about the villi.
Villi.
Yeah, we have to talk about the villi. If you're going to follow the new textbook of DAV, in-house publication, this is one of the lesson which we have prepared. So these questions might be there in the book. So again, next question is milk and dairy products are to be stored in a refrigerator. Give reason. And then there is a question number 8. Compare the teeth of a cow and a lion. Compare.
Is it taught in the classroom?
Yes.
Simple, ma'am. Canines. They have a sharp.
Yes, they have canines and these cows have.
They have a sharp. They have the incisors. Think and apply. So when you teach the teeth part also, you please tell that all the grass-eating animals, they have a flat front teeth like rabbit, squirrel. You ask them so many things. They'll tell why, because they have to cut and bite it. Same way, a dog, a snake, a lion, and a tiger, they have the sharp. The second, whatever we call them, what is it? Canines. Dogs are called canines. And these are canines. Somewhere back, the question was asked like that. It's a canines they gave. So even children were not know what are canines, referring to dogs.
It's to tear the...
Yes, of course. So child has to write. A cow's teeth is, they have the incisors, they help to cut and bite, but a lion's teeth is sharp. It's called a canine to tear the flesh. Why? Now the tail part of it is the structure of the teeth is related to their function. Because cow is a herbivore, it needs a flat cutting teeth. It doesn't want a sharp teeth because the sharp one always is used to tear a flesh.
Tear in the flesh.
Yes.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, ma'am, I'm just asking this question. We did taught all these things, but the thing is, few students, they forgot what the tearing, cutting, all those things. They get confused with which teeth goes for tearing, which teeth goes for cutting, all those things. Is there any other way that we can teach?
Best thing is in classroom. Take a biscuit. That's what I do. Take a biscuit, put it in their mouth. You see what happens first. They first put it in their incisors. They cut it with their incisors. So cutting. I don't know if meat is allowed in your school. If it is allowed, or you tell them last Sunday when you ate, if you give a piece of chicken leg to you, where will you put it? Obviously, they'll use this teeth to tear it.
Sugar cane, sorry for the interruption. Sugar cane.
Yes. Sugar cane also. And then groundnuts. You give groundnuts to them or pista, anything, they'll crack and chew in their premolars. So for this, things have to be brought to the class. So cracking. So they will know, okay, we crack and crack open things, and then we also chew. Grinding happens in the last teeth. So a small biscuit, a small groundnut piece, or a pista, badam, if meat is allowed, a meat, or else you just ask them to remember that. Ma'am, if you can draw the drawings of it and relate it to their function, that will be more appropriate, ma'am, because the sharp, flat front teeth, like a scissor, it is used to cut. And then there is a sharp teeth, so tearing of flesh. Then next is your molars. I'm sorry, premolars. And then is the molar. So maybe a better diagrams through diagram. Thank you
Yes,
all.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.